everybody? Welcome back to the Playbook Sports Podcast. We are so fucking back. You don't even know. I put on my jersey today. I was like, ooh, it feels good.
It feels good.
Colin's having bets lose that shouldn't lose. We are
so back.
So back.
So back.
We got
By the hook, baby. By the hook.
We've got a full house tonight. We got Don Sage Brown. Are you going to be Fade Brown again this year or no?
I was in second place all year.
Well,
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
Just
you guys
fell off.
forgetting that?
Wheels fell off.
I made a comeback like my Lions
That's
did.
true. Yeah, that's
true.
Big
That's
Lions guy. I'm excited to hear about what you guys say about
new team
tonight.
this year. We got a new team this year.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear it. We got Chiefs down on the end.
What's going on?
No new team down there.
No new teams.
Cowboys all day. Except they're a wagon. Except they stink.
They stink.
Except they stink. And we got Opal. What's going on?
What's going on, baby? Excited to be back. Just so excited for football Thursday and can't wait for Sunday.
So ready. And without further ado, I think we just jump right into our power rankings, right?
Agreed.
Colin, you want to start us off down the line?
Sure. So starting at number 1, controversial take here, Kansas City Chiefs.
Whoa,
Shocker.
whoa, easy there, killer.
Number 2, we got the runner-up from last year, Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, this is where we get hot.
Uh-oh.
Dallas Cowboys, number
Woo!
3.
Oh, baby.
I love
We're getting
that.
hot.
Do they stink?
Do they stink?
Maybe
yes,
not.
they do. Only when
Yes.
it matters most.
Or when we bet on
They're
them.
going to be great until we need them.
They'll be great until early January, and then they stink.
Can't
Can't
play
wait.
the 49ers.
Can't wait.
Number 4, I got Cincinnati, and the only reason I have them here is I just like Dallas's team overall more than Cincinnati's team. I'm taking defense into it as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm taking Burrow over Dak. I'm taking Chase over Lamb, and I'm, the whole deal.
Sure.
But overall team, I'm taking Dallas over Cincy. That's why they're at 3 and Cincy's at 4. And the number 5, rounding out my top 5, are the San Francisco 49ers. Yes, the question at quarterback, but that's been the question for many years on end.
It is.
You look at the offensive weapons around said quarterback, you can put in a dummy,
Yeah.
and you still got George Kittle, you still got Deebo Samuel, you still got Christian McCaffrey and the crew.
What?
Exactly. And then I'm not even mentioning their defense
Yeah, you
yet.
mentioned Brandon Ayuk
So,
either.
Even without Nick
yards.
Bosa, before we get into the games, you still look around that defense, they're stacked. And then honorable mentions, since we got one, I'm going with Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
What happened?
Oh, Bills.
They're still there. I still think they're going to be a playoff team this year. But we'll see if they can get over that hump or not.
Yeah, I like that.
Agreed.
Sage, your 1 through 5.
Yeah, I'll go 1 through 5 as well. So number 1, Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
I mean, until they get knocked off,
That's them.
we can't do anything about
Yeah.
it. And it pisses me off because I honestly think my number 2 team, the Philadelphia Eagles, has a better team.
Yeah.
But they don't have Andy Reid.
Yeah.
So
Or
that's
Patrick
part of
Mahomes.
it. That's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of it. Number 3, got the Cincinnati Bengals. As much as it pains me to say, I
really
hate
good,
them with all my
man.
heart, but got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
Number 4, San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
As long as Brock Purdy is as advertised and he comes back from
It's a
surgery,
big if.
I know.
It's a big ask.
it's a big if, but like the team around him,
So damn good.
Yeah.
I mean, I
So
would
good.
I would put them at number 4 if Sam Darnold was the starter. Right now.
Oh, okay. Hot take. Hot
Hot
take
take.
number 1.
I'll take it. And then number 5, rounding out my top 5, is the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
I think in that week NFC, they're going to be stacking up wins. They're going to be looking real good until playoffs start.
Mhm.
So we're on the same page there. But
Respect.
for
There
right
you go.
now, can't wait to see what they do.
I like that.
They're going to win 12 games.
Okay.
My honorable mention is the Miami Dolphins.
Respect.
I gotcha.
Respect.
I just really like their depth as an entire
It's a
team.
full roster.
Yeah, they have a full roster. So as an entire team, like there's not many teams that can stack up against them one-on-one for any position. So I'm excited to see what they do in the season, but I'm really hoping they just don't let me down.
Agreed. Me too.
Yeah.
Right there with you. So I do have a slight change at the top. I actually did put Philly at number 1, just because, they lost Javon Hargrave. They added Jalen Carter, probably the best player in the draft. I can't get over how well they've drafted. And another year with this team all together, they didn't lose any key pieces. They're going to be a tough in every single week. And I have Kansas City at 2. I put them there right after the Travis Kelce news broke. Is he going to miss any time? This is a week to week. The power rankings are super fluid. And in my opinion, this week, if Travis Kelce can't play and you put Philly and Kansas City on the same field together, Philly wins that game.
Agreed.
Just this week. Next week, if Kelce's back and everything's great and his knee's fine, number 1 for me. Number 3, Colin, Dallas Cowboys. I like them at 3. I really like that roster they're building. I think that defense is going to be something special this year. I think the offense will be improved. I need them to be because I really drafted a lot of Cowboys in fantasy this year. So I'm all in on them, apparently.
Yes.
Big CD Lamb, Tony Pollard guy. I think Dak Prescott heard all the chirping about his interceptions. I think he'll be a little, and I like Brandon Cooks on the other side.
And he said, I'm ready to double down with 30.
Yeah, I'm having a Jameis Winston season, 30-30.
That is wild.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that is a crazy stat.
I would love that.
Number 4, Cincinnati Bengals. Again, they just improved their offense. Their defense, a little suspect. They did lose both their starting safeties. You hate to see that. I do really like their defensive coordinator and Lou Anarumo. He'll scheme up something, and they'll be fine. Number 5, my Miami Dolphins. Again, you just look at the roster, like, improved on the defensive side. The offense stayed the same, and when the offense was on the field together last year, they were as good as anybody. Defense added Vic Fangio, and by the end of November, early December, we'll be adding Jalen Ramsey to a team that's hopefully looking good. I love Vic Fangio as a defensive caller. He's a big piece for me. And then my honorable mention, also out of the AFC East, Buffalo Bills. I'm not writing them to win anything big this year because we all know how that goes for them every year. And I didn't want to put them here because I really love making Bills fans angry in the comments.
Yeah.
Because they're the most vocal. Like, if I don't have the Bills at 17-0, I'm going to hear about it, I'm sure. I get it. You guys are preseason Super Bowl champs every single year, except this year, except the Jets. But I do have written on here, not as an honorable mention, so I didn't break any rules, but I put San Francisco question mark only because Nick Bosa will not play week 1. Like, pretty much confirmed. He hasn't showed up to anything. And then I don't know if I believe in Brock Purdy or not. I just don't know.
Yeah.
A small sample size last year with no tape on him, and there was some magic in what he was doing. That's not sustainable.
Yeah.
Magic is not sustainable. And can he do it again? There's a reason, like I said before the show, there's a reason he went dead last in the draft.
Yeah.
Right? Every team passed on him at least 4 or 5 times. Some of them 10 times.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. Now that there's some tape on him and he's the guy going forward, I just don't know. I don't like what I'm seeing out of there. And they have a new DC. How's that going to change things with D'Amico Ryans out of the building? I don't know.
See, it's hard to say something like that because they drafted Trey Lance, number 3 overall.
I know.
You know, and
what a mistake.
Okay, so they drafted Trey Lance, number 3 overall. No teams passed on him, really.
No,
right? He
everyone
would have been taken top 10 regardless of who was going to be there.
Mhm.
So Brock Purdy, again, last pick in the draft.
Yeah.
I get it. But he's done more in his starts than Trey Lance has in 2 years. Granted, he was hurt.
And he only
Granted, all
played
this
2
happens,
games.
And he's only played 2 games.
So I guess my concern is,
But they have practice every day.
I know. See,
And
that's
they
I
have
guess.
practice every day, and
They
it's like,
see
this
him more
guy
than
is
me.
clearly better than this guy.
Yeah.
And you can tell. I mean,
How is
he's
Sam Darnold better than him, though? My gripe with them is why not just keep Trey Lance? Like, you already got him. The guaranteed money's already being paid. Why are you going to ship him off? Like,
Yeah.
give him a shot. He played. My question is, how come last year they went into the year with Garoppolo as the lock? Like, he was the guy.
Yeah.
And then they said, you go practice on another field. We don't want to fucking see you. Go away. Trey Lance is the guy. Played 1 game in a monsoon, looked bad. Played the next game, got hurt, done for the year. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. See ya. Tossed outside. Like, what are they seeing from last offseason that's so different this offseason? I just don't know. But I do know Kyle Shanahan is going to win football games. It's what they do. I just don't know if Brock Purdy can keep it up. I don't know. I want to see it. I need to see it again.
Yeah.
I'm more
I
worried
saw
about
a
the
good
injury
sample
than his
size.
playability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
The
injury's
injury
big
is
on the
what scares
elbow.
me more than I think he could be a passable Jimmy
A
Garoppolo
good
type
game manager.
quarterback.
Good game manager. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it.
But
I
come
get
back from injury scares me.
it. Yes, agreed.
I would say, spoiler, just talking about the Niners. They're not in my top 5 or honorable mention either.
Yeah.
And the only question for Purdy for me is, what happens when they lose? If they lose 2 in a row,
Right.
he has not lost a game as a starter besides his injury and in the
regular season,
playoffs.
right,
Yeah, so
yeah.
he's 7-0. I'm pretty sure as a starter.
Yep.
What's it look like when he's got adversity in his face? When they're down 14-0 because
Mhm.
he stalls out in his first drive and the other team scores 2 touchdowns on their first 2 drives. We really haven't seen that yet.
No.
I will say though, the team around him is so damn
Stacked.
good that
Stacked.
it's going to be bad to be a bad team, no matter who's at quarterback with that 49ers team. I'm sort of on the page where I agree. Are they going to be questioning, man, did we give up on Trey too early?
Right.
And we've sort of hitched our trailer to this kid off of 7 games, which is great. But
Small sample size.
again, let's do it again before all the hype comes for
They
Purdy
love
for
small
me.
sample size.
Yeah,
I
no,
know,
that is
I
true.
know,
No, that is
exactly.
true. That is true.
It makes me wonder if they didn't have such a good team around him. Like,
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch would be fired for that mistake. For
Yeah,
the Trey Lance
yeah.
mistake, they
Shanahan-
would lose their jobs.
That was his pick.
That was his
Shanahan
guy.
convinced John
Yep.
Lynch to take him. I
Yep.
mean, that's a
Oh,
coach's
Justin
job.
Fields
Yeah.
looked really good at Ohio
Yeah.
State? No thanks. Oh, Mac Jones just led one of the most prolific offenses in college football history? No thanks. Give me the North Dakota State kid who's played 13 games in the last 3 years.
Yeah, and it's just we'll see
Oh.
where that goes. Yeah, it's a big ask of Brock Purdy, and we'll see if he's
Huge.
up to the task. But number 1, we all said it, Kansas City, besides Nate. But it's just
It's both of them.
Yeah,
They're the
it's-
best 2 teams in the league.
Super Bowl bound, AFC Championship bound every year.
Yeah.
Number 2, I have Philly. If they could be interchangeable, still they're the best 2 teams in the league.
Yep.
Number 3, I have the New York Jets. I just think the
Yep.
defense
Yep.
they
I
have.
like that. I respect that.
Them adding Rodgers, we've talked about it, and we will every time we talk about the Jets. I'm high on him this year. The addition of Rodgers, I think he's all in. We could get a 10-minute talk
We
about
really
it.
could. We
I'll go to
won't.
number
We'll save
4.
our time.
They're talking big shit about their defense.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
going to mention that. We'll talk about that when we get to
Yeah.
them.
Dallas Cowboys at 4. I
Yeah.
love the addition of Cooks. I love Gilmore on defense. It's
Yeah.
just another year of Parsons. Dak, this is really it, man.
This is your big chance,
This
man, right
since
now.
your rookie year, I would say this is the best teams around you completely.
No doubt.
Really wish they didn't get rid of Amari Cooper years ago, but still, besides the point. Number 5 here, we've got the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah. Different.
I'm high on them. The one question is the run game on defense. Brandon Staley, you're a defensive guy, and your run defense was the worst in the league last year. I mean, it is piss poor. On outside runs, they were giving up over 8 yards a carry. I mean, first down, if they run on the outside, that is
Yeah.
terrible, especially when you got Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa on the outside. Sure, injuries for Bosa. But can they get it all together? I love the addition of Kellen Moore calling plays. The run game for the Chargers on offense on the other end, with all the passing they do, the run game is weak. It doesn't set up the run at all, and Moore's going to come in, change that up. He said, if you can't run against Shell, you're going to see Shell all game.
Yeah.
And that is just the truth, and it just makes it harder to pass when they know, even if you run, you're going to get 2 yards, 3 yards at maximum, because that's all you've got. Coming in, changing the offense a little bit, I'm expecting more run game, better run defense, because it's a big year for Staley. Like, this is it.
Huge.
The pressure's on. You've been
They paid the
at your
quarterback.
cusp.
Now it's you.
You've been at your cusp of your potential, and you're not reaching it, and that does not last in the NFL. And I got the Chargers taking a leap this year, so I've got them at 5 right now. An honorable mention, Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow, health is the only question for me. Like you said, Nate, lost safeties on defense, but this is where it turns into Joe Burrow's career. If that championship window is open, like you said, you've got to prove it, because your team's going to get worse.
This is the year.
Your team is going to get worse because you have to get paid. Your boy
Yep.
Jamar Chase has to get paid. T. Higgins
paid.
wants money.
Yep.
You know, not every guy is Joe Mixon taking a pay cut.
No.
And at the end of the day, he's doing that because his position doesn't
He's
get paid, and
devalued.
he's staying where he can.
Yep.
But with that being said, I still do love the Bengals. It's just Burrow. What's up with his knee? What's it going to be like?
ankle,
The calf. Yeah, the calf strain. But we'll see. I still got them at honorable mention though.
Yeah. I mean, we've got kind of a similar. I bet if we extended it to 8 teams, we'd have the same 8
exact
teams, in my
top 8.
opinion.
Yeah.
And like you said, the Jets. I don't have a problem with having them as a top 5 team. I really don't. I do like the talent. I just wish they would shut up. Like,
Yeah, I know.
I
Haven't
like
done
what
it yet.
CJ
They played
Mosley
with
came
the
out and
Bills
said.
first?
Yeah, they played
We're
the
gonna
Bills.
learn
We
a
won
lot.
a
Yeah.
lot.
Oh yeah.
I like that CJ Mosley came out and said, listen, they can say whatever they want to say. I'm focused on just week to week winning a
Yeah.
game. You can't have guys like DJ Reed and John Franklin Myers come out and say, we're going to be better than the 85 Bears. We're going to be the best defense in NFL history. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, you just set the bar as
Yeah,
high as it
pretty
goes.
damn high.
As
Yeah,
high as it
pretty damn
goes.
high.
And then the coach Sala talking, we got to own the AFC East.
Yeah.
They have fewer AFC East titles than the Indianapolis Colts do. Fun fact for you.
Yeah.
They have fewer than the Baltimore Colts. Whatever. It's like they win it first. Do something first.
Yep.
They haven't
Yeah,
beaten
you're
the
talking
Patriots in
big
7
talk for a
years.
team that hasn't,
That hasn't done
anything. And I
anything.
get
Let's
the
see
Rodgers
it.
edition is
It's
great,
big. It's huge.
but
It's
let's
huge.
talk when you're 8-0. If you're
Right.
8-0, don't act like it
Let's get
before
through
the
these
first game
first
of the
6
season.
games.
Yeah.
Their first 6 games are
I mean,
brutal.
as much as the Jets surprised people last year, I do not forget that I was sitting up here saying they're going to start 0-9, and I
Yeah.
wasn't like the only person
No,
saying
we're
that.
all
Like
on
the
board
Jets
with
were
that. We're gonna be terrible.
supposed to be terrible. You know, they win 7 games, surprise people. It's like, so look at that. Expectations can change real
It
quick.
changed very
Thought you're going to
quickly.
be bad and you're good. You think you're going to be
Be
great.
this
You might
best
be
team in
mediocre, and
football,
then what
right.
happens when you haven't won your first 5 games? Like you think you're going to walk through everybody.
Right, and they've got a tough, like I said, a tough start, man. A
Even
tough
if they are
start.
mediocre, it's just gonna make them look so much worse.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like,
Even if they're a
If
good
they
football
start
team.
off 5 and 6,
Yeah,
or,
no,
or
for real.
5 and 4, something
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
still not
middle
good.
of the road.
That's still not good enough.
I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
no,
if
for
they
real.
start out slowly, Robert Sala's gone.
Yeah, that's.
And then it'll be Rodgers. It's going to be Merry Christmas to the Elder family. It's going to be Nathaniel Hackett taking
As the
over
head
as head
coach.
coach. And I'm going to be celebrating it because that hasn't worked in the past. But
I think their DC's gonna take over probably.
he might. I honestly don't even know their DC's name.
Ulbrich?
Ulbrich, is that him?
Jeff Ulbrich?
I bet you Rodgers goes, my boy Nat Hackett, he's
Yeah.
good.
Jeff
He's
Ulbrich,
good.
he kind of sounds like Travis Kelce. He was talking some smack.
Yeah.
Was he?
Like if you put their voices together like side
Yeah,
by
pretty
side, it
similar.
sounds exactly the
That's
same.
wild.
And I get it. You should be high on yourself.
Yeah,
like the Jets
exactly.
were a
Yeah.
top 5 defense last year. I think they were
Yeah.
5th in most statistics. Like that's really good. And you have a bunch of young guys who should take a step, but they have to take that step. And
Yeah.
now you've put a target on your
Yeah,
backs
no,
by
100%.
coming out and saying we are this good. Now everyone's like, that's everyone's Super Bowl. Like the
Yeah.
Broncos and them having that beef. Guess what? Broncos are gonna go balls to the wall. Broncos
Yeah.
could be 0-4, and that's gonna be their Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Patriots, no. The Patriots haven't lost to them since 2015. Patriots are like, we're not losing to you now.
Yeah.
And then they play the Bills, they play the Cowboys, they play the Chiefs, they play the Eagles. Those are their first 6 games.
Yeah.
Those are tough
Yeah,
games.
answer the bell, yeah.
I think their defense was probably even better than top 5 last year. Not ranked,
Right,
but
just
when
in
your
general,
offense is getting off the
is
field
that bad,
3 and out
right.
Yeah,
almost
exactly.
every single
And you're
time.
Which
constantly
is the
out there, and
hope
you're
for
still
them this
doing it.
year
Yeah.
is they'll be
Exactly.
even better if they're fresher.
So
Yeah.
like theoretically, yeah, I do see them taking that step,
Yeah.
but I also don't see the team gelling.
I
that
just wish
quickly.
that, like, go do it for me.
Yeah.
Go do it first. Like, at least the Bills, when they start talking smack last offseason, they'd won the the AFC East
Yeah.
a few times in a row.
Mhm.
Like they've done it.
Been to the AFC Championship
Right,
game,
they,
so they
were
lost, but
right
yeah,
there
yeah.
before Super Bowl. Like you deserve to talk a little talk.
Yeah.
Get to the playoffs first.
They Jets, like at the end of the day, I'm high on them.
Yeah,
and
good roster, very good roster.
I've loved Rodgers as long as I can remember, and I mean that's a couple months though. That's all I
That's
got.
all I-
But
that's all I remember. I don't
yeah,
remember
that's all I
what
can
happened
remember.
before that.
But
don't remember
no,
what happened
really,
before
it's like
that.
you guys are Rodgers wanting to get the hell out of Green Bay away from being stuck with Zach Wilson swinging a missed draft.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
your future. If Rodgers is not in a situation where he hates Green
if
Bay and wants to
doesn't
leave, yeah,
talk shit about him
doesn't
after the
screw that
season,
all up, and Rodgers retires a Packer,
Yep.
where are you at?
bad.
Because as much as a Lamar shit, I do not think
No,
Baltimore
they-
trades him
no.
at all. So it's like that was all smoke and
They were
mirrors. It's
stuck
like who are you
with Zach
stuck?
Wilson.
And it was Zach Wilson. You got rid of Mike White. It's like you guys are sort of walked into Rodgers
Yeah,
here.
you got lucky.
I
They
get you
backed
traded
into
for him, but it's like again,
it's a lot like how San Francisco backed into Brock Purdy.
yeah.
It's like you just fell ass backwards into a really good quarterback. You are lucky
Mhm.
because you gave up everything for
Yeah.
Lance, and you told Garoppolo to fuck off. You got super lucky.
Yeah, no,
and
seriously.
The Jets kind of fell into Aaron Rodgers saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna play for the Jets this year." It's like, holy shit, we did it.
Yeah,
Thank
again,
God.
you have
It's
to
like,
also
you didn't do anything. He just said,
Yeah,
I'm gonna come play
he
for
had
you.
to be one of the
He
teams.
wanted your
yeah,
team.
The Jets
He
had to be
wanted
one
the
of the
team.
teams he'd play for as
Yep.
well.
And
so
he said, "All right, fine, I'll do it." And good for him. And I do. It is important that he seems bought in at least.
yeah,
I'm interested to see how Salah looks now that the expectations and how the team looks at their expectations. But I like the Week 1 power rankings.
Yep.
It's going to be a really good Week 1 of football.